Welcome to the Body Wise podcast. I'm Beth Trickett, and I am a master energy healer, medical intuitive, and expansion guide. And this podcast is all about tapping into the gifts of our sensitivity, understanding how to lead an intuitively led life, feeling more connected and grounded in your body, and tapping into your own energetic gifts and being able to freely and confidently express them into the world. So before we begin today, I want to share this exciting community that I've created. It's called Empowered Empath, and it's for sensitive women who are ready to step into their gifts. So many of us are energy sponges, or we feel the weight of the world, and right now you might be feeling so heavy or overwhelmed or just plain tired all the time. And this is really the time, the energy this year is so supportive of stepping in and learning how to work with energy instead of just feeling overwhelmed by energy. So this community is a place where we come together, we celebrate our gifts, and through a monthly masterclass, you'll learn different ways of stepping out into the world with your gift, not feeling like it's a burden, but seeing that sensitivity is power. Sensitivity is the new black. That's what it feels like. Sensitive people are being asked to be in their power so we can start to create this new world together. It's a very exciting time. So we're going to talk all about feeling overwhelmed, over-responsible, feeling like, how do I not take on the energy of everyone else? How do I say no? How do I set up my life so that it feels more expansive and not so heavy and burdened or overwhelmed by other people's energy? So we'll be exploring that monthly in a masterclass. And then there will be a space open daily for coaching, for those days when something happens and you want to come in and have a quick shift, have an understanding, get a little bit of coaching and some help and some guidance, and know that you're not the only one who's feeling this way. And it's also a place for going deeper with what we work on in the monthly master class, exploring those themes. I'll be giving you things to think about throughout the month, to come in and explore if you like. So you can participate as little or as much as you like in the group. It's totally up to you. I understand how sensitivity sometimes leads us kind of feeling like it can be we can be judged, or we can be feeling like we're too much, or we're going to be looking at all of those things much closer and seeing how we can transform all of this into, it's essentially this gold that's ready to be mined, right? It's ready to be mined into power, into moving forward, creating the relationships that you most desire, the money you desire, maybe starting something new in your life, a new career, a new business, some kind of endeavor that you just need the confidence, you just need a little bit of boost. And that's the beauty of creating a community together. So if you're interested in Empowered Empath, starts March 4th. You can reach out for more information. I'll also post the link below, or just feel free to reach out and say, hey, is this right for me? And we can chat about it a bit. So something that I've really been exploring in my own life is overwhelm and burnout, and how it relates to taking on too much responsibility. So previously I had heard, so much about burnout and it coming from, taking on too much or working like 80 hours a week, or, it seemed like it came from having way too much on your plate. And I've definitely felt burned out in the past, but I realized that the burnout that I felt wasn't from overworking or taking on too many things that I had said yes to. That the burnout came from having this feeling of over responsibility. Like looking back my whole life, I've taken on responsibility that I was never really asked to take on. Like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but being that person who in relationships is kind of anticipating the other person's needs all the time, or you can feel when someone is sad or when they're having a bad day, and it's easy to jump in and, hey, do you want to talk about it? Do you need something? Can I help you? And I'm not talking about empathy. I'm talking about going beyond empathy. So empathy to me is when it feels even on both sides. Like I'm not overgiving of myself. I'm showing up in a way that feels like it's not draining me. But when we have this over responsibility, it seems to go way beyond empathy or just, being a good friend or be whatever you deem that, right? Or taking on responsibilities as a mom or whatever it is. But this is going above and beyond. It's like when we are being hypervigilant of our surroundings, taking on energy, saying yes to things before we really feel in our body if it's a yes or a no. And it's so easy for this responsibility to just stack up and stack up and stack up. And I could feel it in my neck, in my shoulders, in my low back, in my digestion. Like I didn't realize it at the time, but my body was showing me how heavy all this responsibility was on myself. And this is something with burnout that we don't talk about. The burnout that comes from saying yes too much, from taking on too much responsibility, from feeling so responsible for the people that we're around. And often this is a pattern that we've been playing out for a long time. Like maybe you were the responsible one as a kid, like you were given this role of responsibility, like maybe after a divorce or when you had a younger sibling who you were in charge of looking out for, and you were given this badge of responsibility. And we learned that this is the way that I feel safe. So this is the way that I feel loved. This is the way that my needs get met as a child, is to play that role, to take on that responsibility. And I've seen it in clients too, that growing up, their parent, it was almost like they were their parent's therapist, or their parent came to them with problems that they felt like they could solve or they had to solve. And then we grow up as adults and we still carry these patterns with us of feeling like we have to take responsibility for the people in our lives, for their happiness, because our nervous system feels like that's how we create safety. That I am safe if I am the one who is monitoring people's emotions, like I'll be able to help them. And one thing that I really realized about this over responsibility and the toll that it was taking on me is that it's so immediate. Like we know how to play these roles so well. We know how to say yes so quickly. We know how to just immediately in this, when we're with someone we love, start kind of anticipating what do they need? What's going on emotionally? Like noticing these subtle shifts in the room. And the thing is, and if you've taken my empath quiz, you'll have likely seen this in the video at the end. But the thing is that that's actually a gift, right? It might not feel like a gift, like because right now it feels so heavy, because right now you're doing it kind of with everybody. But when you start to understand how to apply the fact that you can pick up on the minute energies in the room, that you can pick up on the subtle shifts in someone's emotional state, that's actually a tremendous gift for the guide the healer, the energy worker, the helper, when we can see that as, these are my energetic gifts showing themselves, but we're not necessarily using them in a way that's beneficial to our body, to our nervous system. But there are ways to use our gifts that can be so satisfying, so empowering, but they don't lead to burnout. And that's the key. And that was the big shift in my own life, was learning how to work with my energy, learning that, okay, I'm going to go into this crowd, I'm going to go into this party, I'm likely going to start feeling the pain of people around me. I'm likely going to start feeling the emotions of people around me. I'm going to know that when my friend says, oh yeah, everything is fine, I'm going to read like, no, it's not. Something is happening, right? It's knowing that you're going to be that person, that's okay. But then the key is knowing how to shift that energy so that you don't have to stay in that place. So you don't have to be so hypervigilant. And that was the big key shift in my life, was knowing that, okay, this might feel like kind of the default pattern, but I get to shift how I use it. And that's when we really step into our power with these things, is understanding that what feels like a burden now is actually a gift that wants to be expressed. And something else that I came to realize is that often when we're feeling this burnout, we're told, oh, you need more self-care. You need more time for yourself. You need to, you need a yoga practice, or are you meditating? Are you journaling? Like, what are you doing? And for me, at first, trying to add these practices in actually just felt like more responsibility. It felt like something else that I had to show up for, I had to do, and then I was a failure if I didn't do it. So I think it's so important when we're stuck in these patterns of feeling burnout, of feeling responsibility, to not then add even more on top of it that adds to the list of responsibility. It's so important to learn how to feel into our own bodies for what we need in the moment, to be able to feel into your body for, is this a yes? Do I truly want to show up and help this person this way? Or is it a no? And one of the ways that I teach my clients to distinguish between this is, where's the yes coming from? Is the yes coming from love? Like, this feels like something that I can do and not overextend myself to do it. Like, this is coming purely from my heart. I really want to do this or offer this of myself. Or is it coming from fear? Fear of, if I say no to this person, what are they going to think about me? What does that say about me? Are they going to call me again to hang out? It's this thing of like care as currency. Are you using care as currency? I do this for you, you do this for me. And we can do this at such a subtle subconscious level that we don't realize we're doing this. And it can lead to energetic burnout because we're overgiving of ourselves without even realizing it. When care becomes our currency. So feeling into, is it a true yes? Or am I saying yes and my body's saying no? Why am I saying yes? That's an important distinction that will help you start to weed out where you're overgiving of yourself. And if you're ready to really look at these patterns, to understand yourself at a deeper level, and to start living your life in this feeling of power, instead of feeling like you're picking up all this energy or feeling the weight of the world and that overwhelm, or if you're feeling this imbalance in your relationships and you're ready to turn it around and feel more balanced, more free, more energized in your relationships, in your work, in your life, with your responsibilities. I would love for you to join Empowered Empath. These are all things that we're going to be really looking at a very personalized, individual level in this group. So feel free to reach out with any questions. I'll post the link below. We start March 4th. And thank you so much for listening to the podcast today, or watching it if you're on YouTube. And I would love for you to share this with a friend. If it resonates, give it a starred rating or a review. It really helps people find the podcast. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for listening.